Picture this. You've just touched down in beautiful Hawaii, the sun's out, the air smells amazing, and you are ready for a dream vacation. You wander into a park to soak it all in. You see a pigeon, and you playfully shoo it away. Next thing you know, you're getting hit with a fine. Sounds nuts, right? Well, in Honolulu, it's actually against the law to annoy a bird in a public park. Welcome to paradise, where the line between having a good time and committing a misdemeanor can be surprisingly thin. We all know Hawaii as this stunning place with a rich culture and a welcoming aloha spirit. But just beneath the surface of this island paradise, there's a whole collection of laws that are so strange and specific, you have to wonder how they ever got on the books in the first place. Some are modern rules made to protect the island's fragile environment, while others are just really old dusty laws that somehow stuck around. Today, we're going to look at the legal quirks of the aloha state. We'll explore the laws that are still enforced and laugh at the ones that are just too weird to be true, except they are. So grab your poi, leave your hamster at home, and let's get into Hawaii's weirdest laws. Let's start with the rules you really should know, because breaking them could get you into actual trouble. These aren't just funny stories. They're actively enforced laws that protect Hawaii's one-of-a-kind environment and public safety. First up is a big one, the absolute ban on bringing in certain pets. If you're planning a move to the islands with your beloved hamster, gerbil, ferret, or snake, you're gonna have to find them a new home. Hawaii has some of the strictest animal import laws in the world, and for a really good reason. The islands are a super delicate, isolated ecosystem. If a non-native species got out and started a colony in the wild, it could be a total catastrophe. Seriously, the climate is perfect for a hamster to live its best life if it escapes. A few runaway pets could quickly turn into an invasive disaster, wrecking crops and stealing resources from native animals. It's not that Hawaii has a personal grudge against your furry friend, Mr. Whiskers. It's all about protecting the islands for the future. The same idea applies to plants and produce. You can't just bring any fruit or plant with you from the mainland. Every single visitor has to fill out a declaration form, and any farm-related items are up for inspection. That orange you packed in your carry-on could be hiding an invasive bug or a plant disease that could wipe out local industries like pineapple or coffee. So it might feel like a pain, but declaring your apple is a pretty big deal. Now for all you thrill seekers. You've probably seen those epic pictures of the Haiku Stairs, also known as the Stairway to Heaven. It's a jaw-dropping climb up a mountain ridge on Oahu, and it's also totally illegal. The stairs have been closed since 1987, and if you get caught trespassing, you could get slapped with a fine of about $1,000. The law is there for safety, and to respect the private property you'd have to cross just to get to them. Wow, there used to be a legal backdoor trail. Even that has faced closures and is a much tougher and more dangerous hike. As tempting as that perfect Instagram photo is, the authorities are not messing around with this one. And finally, a couple of common sense laws worth mentioning. In Hawaii, it's illegal to use dynamite, poison, or electricity to fish. This feels like it should go without saying, but it's an official law to prevent the massive destruction of marine life. Also, if you like fireworks, you'll need a permit for any of the big aerial ones. Your basic consumer fireworks are mostly okay, but the professional grade skylighters are regulated to prevent fires and keep everyone safe. Alright, let's get into the truly weird stuff. These are the laws that make you scratch your head and ask, who came up with that? While you probably won't get arrested for breaking these today, they're still technically on the books, just collecting dust and giving us a good laugh. One of the most famous is that in Hawaii, it's illegal to put coins in your ears. Yep, you heard that right. That magic trick your uncle showed you when you were a kid. Here, it could technically make you a criminal. The history of this law is a bit fuzzy. One theory is that it was created in the early 1900s to stop people from defacing money, since some would modify coins for fun. A wilder story claims that when Hawaii became a U.S. territory, there was an order to destroy all the old Hawaiian coins and people would hide them in their ears. Whatever the real reason, it's probably best to just keep your change in your pocket. And the ear-related weirdness doesn't end there. It's also illegal to get a tattoo behind your ear or on your eyelid unless a licensed doctor is there with you. It's pretty hard to picture a situation where you'd need a doctor on standby for a tiny tattoo. But this law was likely about health and safety for tattooing such sensitive spots. It really makes you wonder what kind of sketchy eyelid tattoos were going around that made this law seem necessary. And then we have the bird law. I mentioned it at the start, but let's dive back in. In Honolulu's public parks, it is unlawful to annoy any bird. And this doesn't just mean endangered birds, it means any bird. The law is likely part of broader rules about public nuisance and protecting wildlife. While you probably won't get thrown in jail for giving a pigeon a dirty look, the law shows how much Hawaii cares about its wildlife. So the message is pretty clear. Just leave the birds alone. This last group is for the laws that are so old and out there that they've become internet legends. You see them mentioned all over, but it's almost certain they aren't enforced today, if they ever really were. At the top of the list is the incredible, often repeated law that says all residents of Hawaii have to own a boat, and if they don't, they can be fined. Can you even imagine? The state would have to be handing out boat loans left and right. This law is more of a symbolic gesture to Hawaii's deep connection to the sea than an actual rule. The original native Hawaiians had a profound relationship with the ocean, and this was likely meant to honor that history. So no, you don't need to go buy a yacht if you move to Maui, but it's a fun piece of legal folklore. Next is a strange one from the workplace. An old rule supposedly made it illegal for twins to work for the same company. The reason for this is a total mystery. Maybe it was to avoid mix-ups at the office, or maybe a lawmaker just got tired of confusing their employees. In any case, a discriminatory rule like that would never fly today. Modern state ethics laws focus on real nepotism, like hiring or supervising a relative, which includes a lot more than just twins. And finally, a weird food rule. There was supposedly a law that didn't allow men to have a second helping of shark fin soup. This is thought to be a reflection of Hawaii's multicultural history and an effort to preserve certain customs around a dish. Today, that rule is completely obsolete. In fact, with the global push for shark conservation, Hawaii now has strict laws against possessing or selling shark fins at all, which is a much better and more ethical rule to have. And that's just a taste of the strange legal quirks you can find in Hawaii. Every state has its own bizarre rules hidden away, and they each tell a story about its history and culture. What's the weirdest law you've ever heard of where you live? Let me know down in the comments. And if you enjoyed this tour through Hawaii's legal funhouse, make sure to like and subscribe for more adventures into the strange corners of our world. From protecting a delicate ecosystem to holding on to old traditions, Hawaii's laws are a colorful and sometimes bizarre reflection of the islands themselves. While some rules, like the hamster ban or protecting native plants, are incredibly important, others, like keeping coins out of your ears, are just fun historical head scratchers. They remind us that laws are made by people and are full of good intentions, weird situations, and the occasional rule that makes future generations ask why. So the next time you're lucky enough to find yourself in Hawaii, enjoy the sun and the surf and respect the land. And maybe, just to be safe, keep your hands off the birds and your change in your wallet.